$13 billion. Let me say that again, $13 billion. And this is breaking news as of today. And I wish I could tell you this was $13 billion of opportunity and money that you could win, but I can't, because it's $13 billion of government contractor fraud that the GSA has identified stretching back several years. And this, by the way, the GSA is calling the largest procurement fraud finding in its history, both in the dollars and also in the number of contractors involved. So this isn't just like one suspicious invoice, suspicious type of procurement activity. This is a government-wide scandal. And this investigation, by the way, well, it covers several different things: COVID-era spending, the 8A program, contractor eligibility, bid rigging, bribery, cybersecurity false claims, and really what we're talking about is contractor integrity risks. GSA is analyzing government-wide reporting records, public reporting as well, and Inspector General enforced information. Suspected cases right now are being referred to agency inspectors and the Department of Justice. In plain English, what are we talking about? Well, the government is connecting information that may have previously lived in separate systems. And if this sounds familiar, it's because it is. The government is going after government contracting fraud hard. And the investigation, well, what they're uncovering is who is going to own the work, who performed the work, who submitted the bid, what certifications were used, and where did the money go. And by following this information, they're finding a ton of fraud. This crackdown, by the way, well, let's go back in a little bit of history. It didn't just suddenly happen right now. In June 2025, the Small Business Administration launched a full-scale audit of its 8A business development program. It followed a bribery investigation involving more than $550 million in steered federal contracts, possibly allegedly, but it's right now the government believes that's exactly what happened. And if you're interested in what those two things were, I got videos on them that we did when this was unraveling and occurring. So what are we talking about here? Well, the SBAA then went and said, let's examine 15 years of high dollar and limited competition contracting. Those firms who participated in this SBA 8A program, and by the way, it expanded this investigation of all 4,300 companies participating in the 8A program. The firms were ordered to provide basic things that you would have as a business owner. Think about it: bank statements, payroll records, financial ledgers, employment records, and contracting and subcontracting agreements. Companies failed. SBA ended up suspending 1,091 firms. And collectively, by the way, out of that $13 billion, $5 billion in federal payments since 2021 is directly attributed to these companies that had to be suspended on the expectation and suspicion of fraud. Then what we talk about here is we had termination proceedings against 154 DC area firms alone, because it says that they failed economic disadvantage eligibility requirements. And out of those companies, $1.3 billion came to them in 8A contracts. We could go on, but once again, watch the videos that we did when this was happening. Go into the comments. We'll put them there below. For the public, for you, for me, for everybody here, the scandal really is about raising an obvious question that we wish the federal government was asking years before. How is this suspicious government contracting activity occurring at this scale before the government found it in 2026? For you, a federal government contractor, for you as a business owner, the message is even more direct. Trump and the Trump administration is going to continue to push in and hone in on federal government contracting fraud. You need to understand that even if you're doing everything right and legitimate, you need to expect that your certifications, your subcontracting relationships, invoices, cybersecurity claims, the list goes on and on and on. But anything you said that you do or you have, any eligibility representations that you've given, they're going to receive a lot more scrutiny, both going backwards and going forwards. So make sure that the government and the business that you describe understand each other perfectly. Because if you don't, the $13 billion that we're finding right now, that's just the headline. And you don't want to be a part of the next headline that's going to come out. Because remember, that $13 billion of government fraud, it's only going to get bigger. Because the story behind everything isn't the $13 billion number. It's the fact that this enforcement campaign is bearing fruit and it's going to continue to grow. For legitimate businesses, for you who aren't trying to get over the government, this really means a fairer federal marketplace. For you, the taxpayer, this is hopefully going to mean that the government is going to spend your dollars more judiciously. For anyone who's not doing one of those two things, well, if you've treated government contracting like free money with extra paperwork that you can fib on, your bill is coming due, and it's coming due fast. If this helped you, please make sure to hit the like, subscribe. It really, really helps this channel. If you got any questions, we try to respond to every single comment as they come in. And as always, thanks for watching.